see, how things,
Right, I think it's good to go back and look schematically what their thoughts were coming into the game on how to defend us. But whether or not it was we shot ourselves in the foot so bad that, it's kind of hard to tell what was them and what was us, what was real. They're really good, don't get me wrong. All credit to them. They had a really good plan, looking at how they, what their thoughts were to keep him in the pocket, to do this, to do that. Really liked, their plan and what their thoughts were. But, it's just so hard to, you watch it and if you have an improper perspective, it can distort reality. Reality was, we dropped a snap on 2nd and 1 or dribbled one back there. Everything about our offense is, we're a scheduled offense. We got to get first downs and get first downs. And once we get a first down, and what we do, running the football, it compounds, what you do to the defense. And when you go 3 and out, it just kills you. It kills everything. And we didn't help, we started a couple drives, 1st and 15, we had 20 second downs in the game, and 18 of them were 2nd and 7 plus. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And and a lot of it was self-inflicted wounds, things like that. So yeah, it was good to go back and watch, to get their thoughts, to learn how people try to defend you. But it was really hard to watch us not execute at a high level. But I think Buddy Tevens had a great quote one time. I think they got beat really bad one game by Florida State. I can't remember, it was a really bad score. He goes, now I know what Custard must have felt like, but at least he didn't have to come in on Sunday and watch the film. And so that's how I felt.
You really haven't been that penalized procedure stuff, and Kyle Williams on the offensive PI. You mentioned that there was 1 or 2 maybe wet ball situations. Cole had the snap. Was it random, or do you think there was something about the environment, the road?
Right. Yeah. I'm sure that did play in a little bit of it. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I've played in a rain game since I've been here. I don't think I have. In 3 years. It missed it a little bit at Oregon State 2 years ago. But it didn't rain. It was the first rain game I believe I played in, and so the kids are just not used to it. But all of that, guys, it's not an excuse. We got to do better than that. We did the wet ball thing on Wednesday and wetted the balls because we tried to prepare for it. It's hard to prepare for that, but they have to play in the same weather as well. So I thought about why, and so. If it happens more than once, then you probably go back and you look and try to, how did we practice? What did we have in? What did we ask the kids to do? All of that stuff. But, I just look at it, it was a one-time thing where that was uncharacteristic of us to get that many penalties. I don't know if the passion of the game and the excitement of the game got too much for us. We need to learn to react better than that, and we need to, coach says, be a passionate team, not an emotional team. We might have erred in that area. I'm not quite sure, but I'm hoping it was just a one-time deal.
You actually ran the ball
Yes.
quite well. Was it just that you were in so many behind schedule situations that you couldn't run the ball like you would have wanted to?
Yes, and another thing you got to remember is they're kids. We're all human beings, and you can get down. You can lose your passion a little bit sometimes when the defense keeps giving you a turnover and they're giving you a gift right there on the, maybe was it the 30 or 35 yard line, somewhere around there, and then as soon as we run out there, we're 1st and 15, and you're like, come on, man, it was like we could never get over the hump, and we just kept doing that to ourselves. So man, but you're right, they were the second or best rush defense in all of college football, only giving up 50 yards a game rushing, and Eno had 100 some yards rushing, and I thought we had a good plan running the football going in. Thought we made good adjustments at halftime and came back out and hit some good runs. But then it just seemed like every time there was a chance to get over the hump, we always went backwards and we never got over the hump, and it just killed us.
Speaking back off that, when you were talking to Jake or do you seem a little frustrated or anything like that?
Nope, never at all. And we always felt we were one play away, we were one play action pass away, we were one something away from making it 14-10, and then getting our last play drive like we always our last drive of the game in the fourth quarter and try to win it. That's how we felt the whole way. And Jaden, we talked about it, and no, he was perfectly fine, and he did take a couple good shots. Hasn't been hit like that all year. I think one of the hits was pretty good, but he got right back up there, and it really didn't affect him mentally.
So, go ahead.
Well, Rob, looking back on the film, aside from the penalties, just approaching this game and being involved in it, is there anything that you wish you could have changed? In preparation or just in the game in general?
Well, I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. It's easy, but no, I mean, I thought we had a really good plan. We, made some mistakes that we could have. I think an experience would prevent us in the future of making there's so many things that you just can't cover. That there's so many things that can happen in football. You're never going to be able to cover it all with a freshman quarterback. It's just stuff he has to live through. Then it happens, and you go, yeah, so when that happens, you're going to have to do this. And yeah, you wish you would have covered it, but it's like impossible to cover every scenario. And those are what people call the old growing pains that nobody wants to talk about or hear about. I don't, like I said, I've said that before. I'm as big a fan as anybody. I understand how fans think. I've sent Derek Jeter down to the minors about 1,000 times. So I mean, I know how fans think, right? But that's going to happen. You're going to go through some, whatever you want to call it. If you don't want to call it growing pains, don't. But that's what it is. You're going to go through those situations, and I think we all would have liked to have had some plays back. I don't necessarily question the plan. Yeah. And let me finish by saying there are some things that weather did make us call different stuff. If it was a sunny 70 degree, it would have been, the game probably would have been, not probably, it would have been called differently. When you get when you get the report and it is pouring down here, you're not going to sit back and drop back and throw the ball and a bunch of times. So you're going to have to kind of live with what you can do, what you feel like you can do at the moment.
You hit the two tight end slip with Cole on the play action. With Tommy Hudson on the play action. I know that a lot of the boots they were quickly on Jaden, but what do you think about your capability with two tight end stuff and where you're at with that?
Yeah. So we really are wanting to expand. We get the ball to our tight ends. They can help us. They're good players. They have height advantage, and so I thought that going into the game, we had some personnel groupings out there where Curtis was an outside receiver and things like that, and so I agree with you. I think our tight ends can help us, and we need to get them more involved.
Right.
Yes.
Herb said yesterday that those guys will continue to be in the rotation. What would you say about that and just protection in general this game?
Yeah, they were really good. It's different, like going into a game, like when we went into the Colorado game, there were some things where we thought, okay, we can do this. Going into this game, we were like, okay, we can't do this, okay? And so, and every game is going to be different according to how we think we can protect our quarterback. And so, those guys are going to play. We feel like they're deserving to get some reps. And it also creates competition. And, we don't want anybody to come into practice every day thinking, hey, you know what, it doesn't matter how I practice today, I still will have my job at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? And so you want competition, and I think it helps them practice more. I think it helps them, to be into practice more, and so they'll continue to do that.
Herm talked yesterday about the importance of winning in in the South for recruiting purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going for the same top recruits, and when you play UCLA, USC, whatever, that kind of matters on a head-to-head basis. What's your sort of thoughts on that, especially with where you're at with your program development, having Jaden from there as a freshman quarterback and those things?
I think it's important that you win, that you have a winning program. I would hope that a recruit doesn't pick a school, whether a school won or lost that year. You know, you would think that there's a little more substance to your decision than that you would be thinking about being a perfect fit somewhere, and that's where you want to spend, you know, the next 4 years. But I think it's important that you have a winning team. I do. I think, you know, if you're turning in a 3-8 record, or, you know, a 5-7 record, and you expect to go out head to head and beat teams that have winning records every year, I mean, it's an uphill battle. So I do think it's very important to have a winning record. Excuse me.
Coach, I know you probably want to put the Utah game behind you, but
yes,
you mentioned the success of Eno, and it's just how difficult is that as an offensive coordinator to, you know, you have this one player that's producing, but you want to involve everyone and all your playmakers, but just how difficult is that to want to get Eno?
It's very difficult, because I feel like we have some good receivers, you know, and I think we have 5 or 6 of them that can do some stuff, but I mean, it's impossible to get everybody reps. It's just impossible to please everybody. You can't do it. What did Nick Saban said something? He said, if you want, what did he say? Please everybody, make everybody happy. Open up an ice cream stand or something like that. I thought that was a great quote. But it's impossible to please everybody. Now, I do think about it, and that's why I love Herm. I love working for Herm. Herm doesn't just go, don't worry about him. We do. We sit around and we think about the kids. We try to think about each kid's individual experience and situation. We talked about this yesterday, and Herm sent us out a really nice letter to the coaches talking about it, that every day, man, get up and think about, what is it like to be this guy? What is it like? Put yourself in his shoes. Put yourself in his shoes. And I think that's a great point, is, you know, you want to keep everybody involved, and you want them to be happy, and you want them to be proud to be here at this university and enjoy the process and all that stuff. But also, I think it's very important that we teach the kids how to think properly. That you know, surprise flash, the world does not, you know, revolve around you, and it's hard to teach the kids nowadays, and it's getting harder because of the social media and, hey, you know, like, retweet, all of that stuff, and it's so hard. So I think it's important that we try to teach the kids that life isn't about all the time getting your way, and then when you don't, how do you deal with that? And that was one of the big themes this week, coming off of this loss. This was tough, man. This wasn't just a 30-28 loss. This was a butt-kicking loss. Okay, what do you do with that? All right, and so I think it's really important that we spend a lot of time with the kids, talking to the kids, and teaching them this is how you're supposed to respond to adversity, and think about adversity and problems the right way, and not just give in and cave. Like, this is life. This what happened to us, this will happen somewhere in your life, somewhere along the line. How are you going to respond? And think about it. And that's what kind of like we've been focusing on when we talk to the kids about this past Utah game.
What are the things that stand out about UCLA's defense?
Athletic. Remind me a lot of Washington State's guys. You know, athletic, quick. They loop around, run stunt. Kind of similar to that. Similar in the secondary. They're going to probably challenge you. Similar to Utah's guys, they're going to get up in your face and press you, so they'll challenge you. They did that to us all last year. The more you run the ball, the more they're going to start creeping that safety, and if you don't take care of it, sooner or later you're going to look up, you're going to have 9 guys in the box. And so you got to watch out for that, because they'll, as you know, the more success you have running it, the more it's going to start closing in on you.
We've seen that UCLA's improved that offense. Do you feel like they're improving that defense too? The last couple of weeks here, since maybe the WSU?
You know, it's hard when you're watching cut-ups, and you're like on Sunday and Monday to get the game plan together. You sit down and you watch the full game, but you like kind of go through it. But when you start getting into the game plan, you watch a lot of cut-ups, and you watch a lot of formation stuff. So you kind of sometimes lose sight of, that was against Cincinnati 6 weeks ago, and you get more caught up in how they line up. I'll probably have a better answer for you as I watch film, and I watch more and more and more film all throughout the week. But right now, we're just concentrating so much on how they line up and things like that, per formation and red zone, third down, second and 10, all of those kind of things, that you kind of don't get that overall opinion right now of are they getting better on defense. Now, I've watched on offense against Washington State. I think that's the only game that we got as a swap, and I thought they did some really cool, really good stuff.
Anybody else? Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach.